Hello and welcome to Social Media Weekly episode 1st April 2020. Social Media Weekly is brought to you by Virtual Peddlers Marketing, the digital marketing agency that helps small businesses go digital. My name is Sean. I'm doing this from home today. Just didn't have time to go to the office. So I hope that the sound is okay. I hope that the visual is not as okay, but you have to make do since COVID and all that. Right, so down to the stories, the headlines. Facebook used Messenger to help fight COVID-19. Facebook trying to acquire stake in Indian telco. Snapchat gamifies staying at home. Twitter donates to journalism foundations. Facebook pledges 100 million to news organizations. Back to the stories. Facebook used Messenger to help fight COVID-19. Many companies have been coming forward and providing their tech to help authorities combat the pandemic. Facebook last week said that they will be partnering with developers to provide free services to government and UN health organizations to create better information tools for people to use. So what they're doing is they are establishing out the infrastructure for messaging across the globe and for everybody, all the health organizations that need to use Messenger to communicate with each other, as well as trade information and things like that. It is also launching a virtual hackathon to see how developers can create messaging solutions to help promote some important aspects of fighting the virus, such as social distancing and information services. Getting all the developers in together, they're doing a hackathon to see if they can come up with kind of infrastructures that with the technology that they have to help track and fight this thing. This move comes at a good time for Facebook, possibly because it will help cleanse the bad PR that has been hovering for the past few years with this brand. During the global movement control order and lockdown orders, many around the world have actually been using Facebook as their primary means of communication. So as much as we don't like it, as much as we condemn it and we say that it's bad and all that stuff, it is actually the one that we turn to when we need it, right? When we're stuck at home. Number 2, next in line, Facebook trying to acquire stake in Indian telco. So they did one thing good and now, they turn around and they do something bad. They are relentless at trying to set a foothold in India, right? They've been trying to do that for the longest time. Facebook last time tried to introduce a free internet, I say free with air quotes, in India, which the government banned because it was indirect. It was an indirect way of trying for the company to control the sites that people can access. So just the gist of it, Facebook wanted to launch a free internet for Indians in India, whereby they are allowed to use internet for free. Like they can browse only a selected bunch of sites for free. And one of the main sites that is free is Facebook. So it is in a way saying that they're not providing it for free, but instead they are actually saying it is free provided it is through Facebook. So technically it's not free lah. And it's not good because it is a way of indoctrinating people into using Facebook as their default platform. So India banned that thing. After that, India introduced Libra Coin, which was the cryptocurrency that they said would take over the world and be, the fiat currency of the world. India got freaked out and said, nope, we're not having this in our country because it clearly lacked guidelines that protect countries against monetary imperialism. Monetary imperialism is a term where organizations tries to control a country's monetary state, which means that the currency, like replace the currency or control the state of the currency, historically was via IMF loans. But now in the future, it feels like Facebook has the chance to do this with their cryptocurrency, and India was the first to call that out as a bad thing and ban it. Then, Facebook now wants to buy over a stake in the company's one of the company's top telecom companies called Reliance Jio. Facebook is in talks to acquire 10% stake in the company, which could amount to multi-billion dollars. So we don't know if the government is going to veto this and ask them to, get the hell out. But if it's up to their own devices, if it's up to capitalism itself, Facebook will probably have a chance to get in there. And when Facebook is in there as a telecom service, as a part of a telecom service provider, they are able to kind of influence and affect what happens to people who use Facebook and all its services within that country, which usually it's fine, but coming from Facebook, you always have to take a step and say, okay, maybe it's not as good. There could be something that they're trying to do, something that they're trying to look for, and is it even a dangerous thing for Facebook to be doing? Next up, Snapchat gamifies staying at home. The company's location sharing app acquisition, Zenly, has actually done it well. This is quite an amazing thing because kids, they don't care for their safety. They only care about gamifying whatever. They only care about streaks, and they care about what is this called? Going to leaderboards and being the big one, the famous one, and all that kind of stuff. So what Zenly has done is they have launched a stay-at-home challenge, which shows a leaderboard of friends who stay at home the most. The feature also includes guides to stopping coronavirus by washing hands, elbow coughing, not touching the face, social distancing, and all that stuff. But what is good here is that it is nice to see that they are gamifying this and they are reaching it to the kids, because they understand that kids don't care for safety as much. They care for how they appear on social media, right? It's all about the gram. It's all about how cool they are. And if you put a leaderboard there, stay at home kind of leaderboard, then yes, they will stay at home because they want to be the leader of that board. The downside is, in order for that to happen, Snapchat needs access to your location at all times. And that is okay for young people, but not okay for older people, because we tend to care so much about how the privacy, all that kind of stuff. Twitter donates to journalism foundations. $1 million was donated to 2 foundations to support journalism during the coronavirus pandemic. They are the Committee to Protect Journalists and the International Women's Media Foundation. This money will help further their work related to supporting those reporting on COVID-19. This is specific for journalists who are reporting on COVID-19. They are supporting these people because they are in stress right now. And it is actually in response also to a lot of journalists who are under pressure from their governments. This is globally, from the governments who want to suppress the negative news surrounding the outbreak in their countries. There are actually a lot of countries in the world that are not reporting, not honestly reporting their numbers, because they don't want to cause an outbreak internally and they don't want judgment externally. And you know how it is with countries and politicians. So what Twitter is doing is they're putting this bunch of money, saying out there, you know what, you may be under pressure. Maybe let's say the media companies are bought out by the government, therefore they don't pay the journalists. And Twitter says, here's a bunch of money. You take the money, you survive, and you keep pushing out real journalism. Now, while Twitter has put out $1 million, Facebook is pledging $100 million to news organizations. Now, this is just a fight on whose pocket is deeper, right? On top of the $1 million grant they gave to American news organizations that are covering COVID-19. So Facebook has already put out $1 million grant to American news organizations that cover COVID-19. The company has announced another $100 million to help news organizations survive this tough time. The amount, $25 million goes to local American journalists, and the rest will go to helping news organizations around the world. That is actually $75 million going to news organizations all over the world. Take that, Twitter, take that. It's fair to say that Facebook can do that because, number one, they have a ton of money. Number two, they need this change in PR. They need this change in how they are being perceived. and that is important to them, and they will they're taking the opportunity, they're putting a ton of cash on it, and they're saying, you know what, we need to change the world's perspective on who we are, and this is what we need to do. All right, so that's all for this week. Social Media Weekly's podcast is available on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Our full videos are available on YouTube, and we post bits and clips on Instagram and Facebook. We urge everyone to stay at home if you can, drive out just to buy food, drive out just to buy groceries, and be safe, be healthy, and wash your hands, don't touch your face, and all that stuff. All right? We'll see you again next week. Au revoir.